Nora, Claire, Denman, Pagewood.
Mrs. Pagewood, I'd like to get a few details of your childhood, first of all. Could you tell me the main place that you remember growing up and what your mother and father did?
Yes, I was born in St Albans, Hertfordshire. Date of birth, October the 23rd, 1907. My father was manager of Boots the chemist there, and we came to Gloucester in 1914 July. He came to manage a big new shop in Northgate Street, and war broke out, of course, on August the 4th that year. I remember that all very distinctly.
Well, no one has taken me back to what Gloucester was like before the First World War. What can you remember? What sort of a town it was? What you would have seen if you went out your front door and walked down the street and went to your father's shop?
We were living in Tuffley, and we found very friendly neighbours, that I remember, who took us to church on the first Sunday. I don't remember much about the town, but I do remember the shop very clearly because it was a new one, just opened. He was thrilled to have it and be manager. And after about a year, they opened, 2 years I think, they opened a cafe. And I was thrilled with that because I had to present a bouquet to the mayoress. I can tell you my hat, I can see it now. It was all very exciting. But I don't remember much about the town. I don't think we went into the town very much. We had a nice garden, and I think my sister and I played there quite a lot. I do remember, this must have been later, the trains going past our garden laden with wounded soldiers. We could see them. I think they wore a blue uniform. We used to wave to them. That I remember. And I remember being told by my mother she'd seen a Zeppelin go over, but I didn't see it actually. Though I did see an aeroplane when we were in St Albans. That was the first I saw. But I don't remember anything really about the town in those days. I remember the day the armistice was signed, which was November the 11th, wasn't it, 1918, because I was at school doing a dictation. And I went to Bastion House School, which was a little private school, and I was so cross because I was very good at dictation. I never got my good mark for that. I can't remember much else about the town itself.
Because your father's shop, which I think was Boots, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was in the old half-timbered house. Was it in those days?
Northgate Street.
Ah.
And then, of course, now it's in Brunswick Road. They built a new one along since. Yes, after, I can't remember how many years, but he decided to open his own business. And he opened one opposite to Boots, and then later on he went to Longlevens. And he was there till he retired. They were living in Barnwood then. But the shop itself it seemed enormous to me. I can remember it had a library, and I used to go and look at the books because, I could read the books in my dinner hour without buying them sometimes. And it was a very, I think, a happy shop because he was a very good manager. He took a great interest in all the staff. And it was, I think, it was a very happy shop. And I remember my mother, when the war was, I suppose, perhaps in the second year, she said, well, you'll be called up and I shall have to do something with these two daughters. So my father did go and, what do they call it, volunteer. The man swore at him, said, get back to your something dispensing. But in any case, Mother thought she'd better do something. So she went to the technical college and studied to pass the apothecary's hall to be a dispenser, though she'd never done any botany or maths or anything like that. And she did pass that, so she could always help if necessary. She felt she could earn a living for us. And of course it was very useful. When my father had his own shop, she could always go and help out if he was busy. Can't remember much about Gloucester itself.